boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful.
Things just need to be left unsaid. I understand he's articulating like his point of view, like, look, this is all natural work. We're just working hard at it. We're doing X, Y, Z.
You always wonder, well, people say that, no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough. That there might be an excuse for that. So.
Stephen A. Smith has weighed in on Canelo Alvarez's noticeably larger frame ahead of the Terence Crawford showdown, questioning how the size difference could affect the fight's outcome. While he acknowledges Crawford as the more skilled boxer, Smith warns that if Crawford can't generate enough power to trouble Canelo, it could spell serious problems. His remarks spotlight the physical disparity and the role it may play in this blockbuster matchup.
You know what, I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, you can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight. He believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Fortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's longtime trainer, has directly addressed lingering allegations surrounding performance-enhancing substances in his gym. Though accused in the past of allowing fighters access to banned products, Reynoso has firmly denied such claims. He clarified that fighters under his guidance, including Canelo, handle their own nutrition, insisting he has no involvement in diets or supplements. As the Crawford fight approaches, Reynoso emphasized that his focus remains on strategy, skill building, and mental preparation, distancing himself from any PED speculation.
Eddie Reynoso says, starting now, I'll be working 100% with a team that I can supervise. I've let the boxers who have come to me to train have their own nutrition team. So all of these fighters popping because of their nutrition team. Eddie Reynoso is guilty by association, so you have to clear the shit up. That's what I was saying about Victor Conte when he came with his transparency. I'm doing the same now with Eddie Reynoso. He knows he has to clean that shit up. I suggest to Eddie Reynoso, if you're going to be 100% in control of the nutrition team, join Snack. They got hyper-exfoliated, futuristic, hydraulic chambers. Get Nello on Snack. Hey, brother, Nello on Snack with the futuristic 1.121 gigawatt. Brother, please.
Reynoso has coached several fighters who failed PED tests during their careers, 7, by some counts. But he insists those cases should not implicate Canelo. According to Reynoso, each fighter is responsible for what they put in their own body, and in Canelo's case, he has always maintained a clean program, carefully monitoring all food and supplements to avoid contamination.
Corruption at its absolute finest, but how does it connect to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo team? So Rodriguez Jr. failed his test after the Galal fight. He set the record for the most punches landed in that fight. It even prompted people like Sonny Edwards during the fight to say, this is weird. And yet, he will not be punished. In fact, he'll be kind of rewarded because he's going to get ordered an immediate rematch for the WBC belt. The only thing he's got to do is have a 12-month probation period with random testing. Now, WB are doing this because they have ruled it proven unintentional use. It just so happened he took stuff that was extremely beneficial to his conditioning. Here is the WBC official statement. Feel free to pause this and read it. But what's it got to do with these two fine gentlemen? Well, Rodriguez Jr. is part of Canelo team, and he was rumoured to be managed by Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso since came out and said, no, I don't manage him, blah 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 blah, and he distanced himself. Now why that's important is because Eddie Reynoso has been connected to, I think now, 6 or 7 fighters who've all failed their drugs tests. The rumour around town, now this is just a rumour, and definitely not true, is that these two may have smoothed things over with the WBC, maybe used their position of power to get Rodriguez Jr. a bit of a lenient sentence, put it that way. Again, that's not true, I've just completely made that up. But what is unbelievable is a fighter nowadays can actually fail a drugs test and not be punished whatsoever. In fact, can be rewarded. Unbelievable.
Terence Crawford's strength coach has issued a bold prediction ahead of the super fight. confidently stating that Crawford will beat the brakes off Canelo. He insisted Crawford's conditioning, power, and relentless work ethic will be too much for Alvarez, regardless of size or experience. Their camp's preparation has been highly strategic, focusing on strength and stamina to match Canelo in every department. These fiery comments have only fueled fan debates about whether Crawford's power at a higher weight can truly hurt his seasoned champion.
Listen, I get a lot of texts asking how I'm doing, how camp is going, so I figured I could just put it up in one post. So I'm in the mountains. This dude's about to beat the brakes off Canelo and be the greatest boxer of all time, and I get to play a part in it. All is well, truly well. We good. I'm good. I'm real good.
Analysts have suggested that ring size could play a decisive role in the fight. A standard, larger ring would allow Crawford to fully use his footwork, speed, and angles to keep Canelo at a distance. History shows that Canelo struggles against opponents who employ movement and don't stand in front of him, as seen in his loss to Dimitri Bivol. If Crawford has room to maneuver, he could control the pace. But if Canelo closes the distance quickly, it could become a much more physical battle.
If the ring is standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he's going to get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, he talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dogfight with Canelo. No, I think he going to whoop his ass off.
Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray has also weighed in, calling it a great fight between two fighters with extraordinary legacies. He praised Canelo's dominance across multiple weight classes and credited Crawford for his own undefeated run and skill mastery. Gray stressed that this bout is about more than titles, it's about cementing legacy. Both men know victory here could define their place in boxing history.
I think we want to see the best fight the best. And even though there's been a difference in weight divisions here, I think that, people clamor for big names and big fights and guys who are great to fight each other. So being for the institution, and I am for the institution of boxing, I think Canelo has been great for boxing, and I think Terence Crawford has been great for boxing. So how this is going to play out exactly, I don't know. Terence Crawford is older, and Canelo has, twice as many rounds? So I don't know how that combination ends up, the weight difference. Canelo's going to be a bigger man and a bigger frame and coming up in that weight. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be at the Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play, and it's going to be filled up, and we're going to have a huge, huge night for boxing for the world to see.
On follow-up, do you feel like Terence Crawford has the style to cause Canelo problems?
Does he have the style to what?
Cause Canelo problems.
Terence Crawford's a great fighter. Terence Crawford can give anybody problems. Whether or not he will, I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. We'll just have to wait.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez, however, remains doubtful about Crawford's chances. He argues that weight classes exist for a reason, and while skill matters, natural size and strength can't be overlooked. Sanchez believes Canelo's power at his natural weight will be a huge barrier for Crawford, and even with elite talent, the physical disadvantage may be too steep to overcome.
As everybody has opinions, and my opinion is that I think Canelo will be too big for him. I think Crawford needed a little more seasoning, a little more seasoning of his weight, that is. He's had a year and hasn't had really any fights against those caliber fighters. The last fight he had a 154-pounder, moved up one division and had a difficult time in a way that he wasn't dominating as he did in the lower divisions. And you talk about a guy in Canelo whose really only bad outing was at the Bivol fight. And Bivol, when I first talked about that fight, when they asked me, Bivol is a Gennady Golovkin, just 15 pounds heavier. Same skills, maybe not the punching power, but very skilled. So anybody below 75, Canelo has dominated easily. After the 5th or 6th round, it seems to be sparring sessions for him. So I think that he does very well, and I think he wears Crawford out and wins a going-away decision. Crawford is an all-time great, obviously, but there's weight divisions.
definitely as well. Abel, I'll leave it there, but I'll leave you with the final words. Any final words for the fans waiting to see you in the corner on Saturday night, my friend?
I'm very happy to be back. I retired for 3.
Legendary ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. added his perspective, noting that in fights like this, the naturally bigger man usually holds the edge, giving Canelo the advantage. However, Lennon also pointed out that Canelo hasn't looked as dominant in some recent outings, leaving an opening Crawford could exploit. His balanced take suggests the matchup may come down to more than just size. Recent form and tactics could tip the scales.
For the super fight in September, how do you see that fight playing out? Who are you leaning towards? Who wins that fight?
Yeah, I tell you, you know, I tend to always think the naturally bigger fighter is going to have an advantage. I'm just, you know, with the Crawford moving up, you know, he was a 135-pound champion. They had 40, you know, fantastic champion. 47 then, and then 54. Is 68 too much? You know, that's really a big jump. But I tell you, a lot of people I respect just say, no, he's going to be favored on that.
Wow.
So I don't know what to say, but you know, Canelo's a great fighter and a smart fighter, and you know, two fighters in the pound for pound best. You know, getting it on. That's nice for boxing.
And if Crawford is successful, where would you place him in the all-time greats? Does he belong in the top 10, or you've seen so many fighters come across?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say. But certainly he should be considered. He should be in that discussion, and people could argue that either way for a while. But yeah, if he does it, you know, you always wonder. Well, people say that no, Canelo was going down and he had had enough. That there might be an excuse for that. So, you know, we'll see. But it'd be quite a feat if he does beat Canelo. That'd be amazing.
Undefeated champion Shakur Stevenson has shown total confidence in Crawford, calling him the greatest in his division and backing him to beat even a naturally bigger opponent like Canelo. Stevenson's words carry weight given his own talent and reputation, reflecting the respect Crawford commands among fellow elites. Many in the boxing world agree that skills, not size, could ultimately decide this fight, making it one of the most intriguing showdowns in years.
When you first heard about this idea, when you first heard about it, what did you think of this idea of Bud going up to 68 to fight Canelo?
I ain't gonna lie, I've been putting it out since, I want to say, when he fought Sean Porter. Like back then, if you go watch, it's an interview out there. I had said I think that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez right after he fought Sean Porter. So the idea, I've been thinking about it. I've been saying it before Bud even was saying it.
Why were you saying it then? Like that was what, a few years ago? Was it 160 or 168 at that point? But why did you believe then that was the right fight?
Because I just knew, like, as far as in that weight class, Terence Crawford is like the greatest. So I just feel as though with Canelo's style and like the style of boxing that he got, I think and this is before Bivol did it, but I thought like Terence Crawford was the only guy who I felt as though could have beat Canelo with his style.
So tell me if you think I'm wrong here. Like, I might have been more confident after the Spence fight when he threw a lot of right hands in that fight. He was aggressive. Against Madrimov, he didn't throw a lot of right hands in that fight. And I've been saying for years that the only way to beat Canelo Alvarez is throw right hands. Gennady Golovkin did it, almost beat him, should have beat him the first time around. Dmitry Bivol did it in their fight. Other guys tend to try to jab him to death. I don't think you can win fights.
I would like to say, I disagree with you.
That's not surprising at all.
Former world champion Sean Porter offered detailed observations after recently seeing Crawford in person. He noted Crawford's legs looked especially powerful and well-developed, proof of targeted lower body training. Porter also emphasized that Crawford's weight gain has been evenly distributed, with his speed and agility still intact, a rare feat when moving up in weight. In his view, combining added strength with preserved quickness could be a major advantage, especially if Crawford uses mobility to offset Canelo's power.
You guys, one reason you give Crawford a good chance at winning this fight is talking about Canelo has to have his feet set to deliver his power shots. Crawford making him pick his feet up. At 38 years old, putting on 14 pounds to go from 54 to 68, 38 years old, do you think his legs will be able to have the advantage that people that are picking him and thinking he could win this fight, will they have the advantage that they believe he will have at 38, putting on 14 pounds to those legs?
I looked at my business partner Malcolm while we were there. I said, "Yo, look at his legs." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." I said, "They're thick. They're in shape. They look very strong." If anybody out there that want to act funny about what I just said, that's my job as a former athlete, as an analyst. I have to analyze everything, right? So I have to analyze how's his weight now distributed across your body.
His body, right?
Is it distributed a little too much right here in the midsection? Are the legs too thick? And now I'm not seeing the muscle pop and things of that nature. The dude is doing all of the right things. They have something called the incline in Colorado Springs. So just in case you don't know, Colorado Springs is about 6,000, a little bit more than 6,000 feet in the air, right? So it's above the altitude. I don't know where Vegas is. Vegas is around 1,000, I believe.
A growing section of fans now believe Crawford will dominate Canelo, with some dismissing it as anything but a 50-50 fight. Critics argue this disrespects Canelo's accomplishments. He's a multi-division champion and arguably the greatest Mexican fighter of his generation. While Crawford is undoubtedly a special talent, outright overlooking Canelo ignores his proven track record against world-class opponents. This fight, therefore, isn't just about belts, it's also about respect, reputation, and legacy.
So look, I'm going to get my prediction. I don't want this video to be long. Typically my videos be like 20-25 minutes long. I get deep on this shit. I'm going to keep it real. I think y'all are out of your fucking mind. Y'all are out of your fucking mind. Look, if you want to say, I think Bud Crawford has the opportunity to win this fight, don't count him out. I don't disagree with that at all. I will say, don't never count Bud out. I will say that. Never count Bud out. If y'all say this is a 50-50 fight, I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah. You think it's a 50-50 fight? Y'all, people are saying it's not even going to be a 50-50 fight. That Canelo was going to be slow. And I think y'all are out of your fucking mind. Canelo needs to walk out to Roy Jones. You must have forgotten. Y'all, this is arguably not only the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, but this is arguably one of the greatest fighters ever. And y'all are acting like Canelo is some kind of fucking pushover. Like he's some kind of stepping stone. I've never seen nothing like it. I have never seen a boxer so accomplished get shitted on in every fucking prediction video I'm seeing. It's madness. My prediction right now, Canelo wins this fight. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all got shit fucked up. y'all, bro, Canelo wins this fight.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates and analysis as the countdown to Canelo vs. Crawford continues.